the latest ITV news in the Tyne region with Amy Lee and Ian Payne.
Hello there and good evening. Thank you for joining us.
On tonight's programme, the man who chopped down the Sycamore Gap tree has been released from prison.
Calls for a law change so new mothers diagnosed with cancer don't miss out on bonding time with their babies.
Work begins to bring Sunderland's once industrial riverbanks back to basics.
And I'm enjoying the perfect pitch of the Pit Choir, celebrating 75 years.
First tonight, the man who felled the Sycamore Gap tree has been released from prison after serving just 10 months of his sentence. ITV News Tyne can exclusively reveal.
The 33-year-old Adam Carruthers was jailed last year for chopping down the much-loved tree in Northumberland and for damaging Hadrian's Wall in 2023 alongside his former friend Daniel Graham.
ITV News understands that Carruthers has now been released under strict curfew rules. Our Northumberland correspondent Tom Barton has this exclusive report.
He's the man wielding the chainsaw in this infamous footage of the felling of the Sycamore Gap tree. But now, just 1/5 through his prison sentence of more than 4 years, Adam Carruthers is out of jail. The tree he felled with no good reason, an icon. Its loss causing upset around the world. Released from jail wearing an electronic tag, we found him today back at the turf farm where he worked before his conviction. Adam Carruthers is back here at Cumbria Turf. We couldn't take the cameras up to see him, but he is there. He was sat in a workshop surrounded by old vehicles on a leather sofa in front of a small wood burner. I asked him if he was back at work. He said yes. I asked him if he was happy to be out of jail, and he nodded. Carruthers didn't want to talk on camera today. Have you got anything to say to the public about what happened at Sycamore Gap? And he wasn't keen either when I approached him outside Newcastle Crown Court during his trial last year. Do you have anything to say at all, Mr. Carruthers? At the Twice Brewed Inn near Sycamore Gap, whose CCTV helped to convict Carruthers, there's a slice of the tree near the entrance. Adam Carruthers, the man who actually cut down the tree, who was wielding the chainsaw, has been released from prison.
Wow. Mind blowing, yeah. I don't understand, yeah. Lost for words, man. Yeah, that's insane, yeah. I honestly don't know what to say. Gobsmacked.
And at the stump left behind by his vandalism, there was surprise at the decision to release him, alongside a little support.
It's ridiculous. He should be still locked up, shouldn't he? Yeah, I mean, it's such an icon.
It's just not enough. It's not enough for what he's done. It's simple.
If he's learnt, and I think a lot of other people have learnt because of the publicity, so yeah, I think it's all right. I think he's probably had his due.
It's our heritage that's gone. So, no, I don't agree that he should be...
He shouldn't be at liberty.
No,
he shouldn't be at liberty, really, no.
Daniel Graham, who was convicted alongside Adam Carruthers, remains in jail.
The sentence is, on count 1, 4 years and 3 months imprisonment.
Both men were sentenced by Mrs. Justice Lambert in July last year. But Carruthers has been released under a scheme called Home Detention Curfew, which means he must wear an electronic tag and spend between 9 and about 12 hours a day at his registered home address.
Home detention curfew is pretty standard if you are within the categories it applies to. Indeed, it's pretty well automatic. What the government says is that it should be a normal part of sentencing for most eligible offenders, and it should be exceptional if you come within the categories for you not to be given this release.
The tree felled by Carruthers will take decades to grow back, if it ever does. The man who felled it, though, is already in the process of putting his life back together.
Tom Barton joins us now from Sycamore Gap. And Tom, clearly many people still feel really strongly about this landmark.
Yeah, absolutely, Amy. Absolutely everybody I've spoken to today, even those who support the idea of Carruthers' release, is appalled by the crime that he and Daniel Graham committed here. It was a crime that shocked the world, and I think for many people the fact that one of the culprits, in fact many would say the primary culprit, is now out of prison will come as a surprise. Now, I understand that the decision to release him was taken by the governor at the prison where he was being held. The Ministry of Justice told us tonight that anyone released into a home detention curfew faces strict licence conditions. They must be tagged, and those who break the rules can be returned to prison. Tonight, though, Adam Carruthers isn't behind bars. He's at home.
OK, Tom Barton, thank you very much indeed. Tom in Northumberland for us this evening.
Next tonight, the new mums who are missing out on time to bond with their babies because of cancer treatment.
Those diagnosed during pregnancy or in the year after giving birth say that they're spending their maternity leave in and out of hospital, unable to make the most of the time with their baby.
It's prompted calls for a change in the law, as Lauren Hall reports.
Enjoying a tea party with her young daughter, Beth Dedman is making up for lost time, having spent much of her maternity leave undergoing treatment for Hutchinson lymphoma, a type of blood cancer.
Mummy, have some.
It was a slog. There can't be anything else that can happen. Like, this is the worst that it can get. So you just keep ploughing on, you keep going.
Ready, 1.
Her treatment lasted months, and all the while, she says she was watching her maternity leave ticking away.
I had a lot of friends who had children at the same time. I could see what they were doing, and we weren't able to do the same things. And I couldn't take her swimming. We didn't go to any classes. It wasn't how anyone would necessarily envisage or expect that period of time to be.
Every day, at least 2 women in the UK are diagnosed with cancer during pregnancy or within the first year after giving birth. But maternity leave can't be paused or postponed, unlike paternity leave. This employment lawyer in Durham says there are very few options for those who finish maternity leave but want to delay their return to work after undergoing cancer treatment.
It is very limited. A woman might want to take parental leave, however that's unpaid, and there are certain limitations on sort of how and when it can be taken. For example, you're only able to take 4 weeks leave in any 1 year. There's also the option of perhaps using accrued annual leave, which accrues sort of whilst the mother is on maternity leave. That is paid, however, it's only sort of a short extension and doesn't really address the core issue at hand.
It's why the charity Mummy's Star is calling for a change in the law, allowing women to defer their maternity leave until the end of their cancer treatments. It means a lot to its founder, whose wife Maya died from cancer when their baby son was 10 weeks old.
We do have this quirk in the system where if I had fallen sick during my paternity leave, I could have paused it and then recommenced it when I felt better. It is cruel in its in the extreme that a sick parent who's just given birth cannot have the same opportunity.
The government says it is being looked into, telling us receiving news of a cancer diagnosis is devastating, especially for mothers on maternity leave. Our parental leave reviews exploring how we can better support working families so parents can spend time doing what matters most, caring for their baby.
Ready?
That review will end early next year. Beth hopes it will make a difference, so mothers like her aren't missing out on precious time bonding with their babies. Lauren Hall, ITV News.
Thank you.
Next tonight, leadership at Cumbria Northumberland Tyne and Weir NHS Foundation Trust has been downgraded from outstanding to requires improvement. An inspection of the trust, which provides mental health services, found the standard of care had deteriorated in some areas. The trust says they recognise the seriousness of the report and have already begun work to address issues.
You're watching ITV News Tyne Tees. Still to come on tonight's programme.
Restoring the landscape. The largest project of its kind in the North East begins on the banks of the Weir.
And some very mild temperatures for the time of year being squeezed out by blustery winds and rain moving in from the west. What's going to happen through the next few days? I'll, of course, have your forecast later.
Now, what do the Great North Run and next month's local elections have in common?
It's a device that we are using, so go with us on this. The councils in our region holding full elections this year are Newcastle, Gateshead, South Tyneside and Sunderland. To travel through them, you could very logically follow the iconic half-marathon route with a little diversion at the end.
Yeah, we sent our political correspondent Tom Shaldrick out with his trainers to speak to voters and politicians along the way.
We can't compete with the real Great North Run, but we'll give it a go. Well, we haven't got the roads closed today, so a bit like the route in 2021 due to the pandemic, I'm going to go for the Newcastle city centre. Labour have been leading Newcastle City Council but lost their majority. A quick stop to speak to some voters.
I've always voted Labour and I'm sticking to it.
Do you think they're doing a good job?
Yes, I don't think anybody else will be able to cope with what's going on in this world.
As long as it's not ferocious, Bob, I don't mind who gets it, as long as it's not him.
Do you think you'll be voting based on local issues or more kind of how the government are doing?
Probably like how the government's doing in general, really.
Time to cross the Tyne and enter our next council area. Labour have been running Gateshead since the 1970s, before the Great North Run started. These councils usually have a third of seats up for grabs at any one time, but now there's been a review of local ward boundaries, and so all councillors are being elected in one go, and that means there's the potential for big changes. So which way are people here leaning?
I don't know, they're all the same.
It's hard to tell. Independent, I think, is the thing.
My grandfather and them were like, oh, you have to vote Labour, you know, they were good. But now, no, definitely not.
Why not?
Definitely change. I don't know, they just don't seem to listen to what people are saying.
Now let go of everything I
I'm around the halfway mark. Hopefully you can spot me from the sky.
'cause I couldn't give the love you deserve.
It's about time we get some candidates running in this new era of multi-party politics.
By the gun you shouted on.
How bad are these elections going to be for Labour?
To be honest, I think we went on the front foot. We're campaigning hard. I think it's going to be challenging. There's no doubt about that. But Labour delivery within Sunderland, within the North East, will speak by our results.
Do Reform have any idea how you would run these councils?
We do. We've got a good bit of practice from Durham and the other councils that we do control. We've learned from our mistakes, and when it comes to Sunderland, we know exactly what we want to do, how we're going to do it, and we're going to hit the ground running.
Is the Green Party really focused on the environment anymore?
Well, I think we're focused on inequality and unfairness, and actually you can't have environmental justice without social, racial and economic justice. And so what we're focused on is lowering people's energy bills, making their homes better insulated.
Do you accept that the Conservatives are unlikely to win control of these councils?
We might not win control, but the point is, Conservative councillors work hard and make a difference in the ward where they're elected. So from Gosforth in Newcastle to Grangetown in Sunderland, Conservative councillors are incredible at getting things done.
Have the Liberal Democrats been squeezed out by the other parties?
I think we're going to be squeezed in. It's been interesting as the majority party in opposition. We've been doing very well. On the doors, it does look as if people are understanding that the Lib Dems are going to be the sensible opposition.
There are smaller parties and independent candidates too. Labour have been in minority control in South Tyneside.
Oh yes, I vote, because the women fought for the right to vote.
Sick of it being a Labour-run town and not doing a lot forward. Definitely don't want the Conservatives. Reform, are they too far? I don't know.
What are those big issues for you around here?
Just basically cost of living in the local area. Certainly what's happening with the council having to save millions upon millions of pounds, and therefore I suppose your council tax goes up.
You want to do the last bit of the Great North Run with me?
Yes, come on, do it.
Should could be time to start daydreaming about the moment of glory. I am really hurting now, but rather than heading north up the coast to the normal finish line, I'm going to use the excuse of last year's Great North Run medal showing the Weir rather than the Tyne to head south instead to our final area with all-out selection. That medal was borrowed, though I have done the Great North Run twice a few years ago. My route now is slightly longer and equally stunning. Finally into Sunderland, where Labour have been running the council for more than 50 years.
I'm voting for Reform.
Why is that? Reform UK, yeah, why is that?
Don't know, something different in it.
The Green Party.
Why is that?
I just believe in quite a lot of their policies, and I think that the Labour government have kind of disappointed us recently.
Will you be voting?
No.
Why not?
Because I don't trust any of them.
Candidates have until the 7th of May to win voters over. It seems little should be taken for granted, though fortunately there was only one winner in my race. Things I do for this job. Tom Sheldrick, ITV News, in Sunderland.
Tom can have a bit of a rest now, but not until the elections.
Entertaining and insightful, thanks to all of our contributors there ahead of the elections. Now, it is the last night of an anxious few months for thousands of parents, as tomorrow families will find out where their 4-year-olds will start school in September.
Yeah, not all are guaranteed to get their first choice, but there are options for those who don't, as James Webster now reports.
Should we do a purple beak?
Yeah.
Claudia is waiting to find out whether Evie has got into her first choice school. Her older brother Harry is already there, and both of them going to different schools would make morning drop-off more challenging.
We would have to basically do drop-off at 2 different schools, distance apart of at least 10-15 minutes at the same time, which logistically doesn't really seem possible. And school holiday dates are very different in the different schools just in this town, which seems a bit bizarre anyway. But yes, so holiday dates wouldn't line up, and drop-off and pick-up tricky.
The waiting is almost over. Tomorrow is offer day, when parents are told where their child has been accepted. Applications had to be in by January the 15th, with parents usually choosing between 3 and 6 options. Local authorities have then had 3 months to allocate places.
It's a very complex set of planning and sufficiency decisions to ensure that we've got the places we need, because one of the things that's really difficult is if we have too many places across an area, then you'll get some schools not getting enough children, and that will mean those schools will have to cut classes, might need to close classes, and we know that leads to really difficult decisions for school leaders.
Last year here in the North East, 96% got their first choice and 99% one of their top 3. For those who are disappointed tomorrow, the Good Schools Guide advises accepting the place that's been allocated while other options are considered.
You must accept the school place that you've been given. If you don't accept the school place, even if you feel that your child will go there over your dead body, you may not get another one. The local authority doesn't have an obligation to make you another offer. Go on the waiting lists for the schools that you do want. Families move, people get relocated, parents decide to take another school. And remember that your first choice won't be everyone else's first choice, so other people may be looking to make a move.
For the vast majority, there will be good news tomorrow, but it is inevitable some children will not be able to attend their family's first choice of school. James Webster, ITV News.
Yeah, and good luck if you're one of the families that's waiting on those offers tomorrow. The ITV Evening News continues after us tonight at 6:30. Coming up in Evening News, how was a prisoner who sexually assaulted a 14-year-old girl accidentally freed early from prison? The government releases its report. Trucks begin the task of removing huge mountains of waste illegally dumped in Oxfordshire. And Harry's candid comments as he talks about therapy on his trip down under. So do join me for those stories and more at 6:30.
generations, the River Wear through Sunderland has been heavily industrialised. Now, though, parts of the banks are being restored to salt marsh in the largest project of its kind in the region.
Yeah, work has begun to help natural mudflats and salt marshes to reform, cleaning the river and creating habitats to boost marine life. Julia Bartham has been to see the project getting underway.
Confined on both sides by industry, old and new, the River Wear ploughs its way through Sunderland. But there are pockets where industry has retreated, silt and sediment has returned, and in this mud lies huge potential.
Some of the birds that we get down here, there's some other sets feeding around. You know, we wouldn't have had them 20 years ago, and that could be because of water quality, it could be because of environmental change, but you know, they're coming back to the estuary. We've got curlew and redshank out there feeding now. You know, we've had shelduck in the water, so you know, there's definitely positive signs, but the salt marsh habitat won't really change unless we give it a little helping hand.
Now a helping hand is here, with the slight difficulty of needing to be delivered by boat.
From a logistics point of view, is getting the actual equipment here, but also not just the equipment here. It's getting it so it doesn't disturb the environment itself or damage the environment. A lot of care has been taken into that.
Wooden stakes are being hammered into the mud and bundles of chestnut rushing woven in between to form a natural barrier.
It'll allow the waves to go up to and over them, but then as it recedes, all the sort of silts and sands and small debris will stay behind the actual barrier. Hopefully in time the plants will be able to encroach back onto the actual new land that's created.
So you're giving nature a bit of a helping hand, but nature is doing the rest?
Yeah, and the whole process has been not to disturb and not to cause problems for it, is to help and let nature do its job.
£250,000 of funding from the Environment Agency and Caterpillar Foundation means this natural barrier can be installed to protect an area of estuary edge roughly the size of the Stadium of Light pitch, allowing the mudflats to develop into salt marsh.
It stores carbon, it provides habitat for plant species that wouldn't go anywhere else. That then provides habitat for an array of animals, so you get lots of little crabs down here, you get sea slaters and sandhoppers, which is then food for the birds, and the fish, which is then potentially food for the otters, and the seals and the porpoises that everybody loves to see in the Weir now. So yeah, it has that kind of knock-on benefit for the whole ecosystem.
Over time, these barriers will be buried under the new salt marsh. The only sign that they were here, the increase in wildlife the marshlands support. Julia Bartham, ITV News, Sunderland.
Yeah, big project there on the banks of the River Wear. Now, singing has long been a part of coal mining culture. It fosters camaraderie amongst workers.
75 years after it was founded, members of Backworth Male Voice Choir on North Tyneside say it's as relevant as ever.
Well, the local pit closed years ago, but a group still meets at St Hilda's Church, which is where we can now join Helen Carnell. Helen.
Oh, hello. Gosh, doesn't that sound lovely? This is the wonderful way to spend a Wednesday evening. I'm being serenaded by the sound of 40 awesome male voices who get together every week for a good old sing. But when the choir started back in 1951, it meant so much more than that. It was about building morale among the miners, letting off steam after a shift, maybe even singing some songs of protest about the tough conditions down in the pits. You'll know about that, Andy, won't you? You were age 7 when you first went down the mines. What did the choir mean to the guys back then?
Well, it's a brief account of a very long story. Down the pit at 7 years of age, 10 years later, joining the mining industry. Of course, I spent a lot of time in hard work, but the camaraderie was the most important thing. And it happens that I was asked to join the choir, but I didn't join until I was 65. And believe it or not, the camaraderie still continues, because there's nothing better than joining a choir, as the audience and the viewers can see right now, because this choir is a brilliant class of men, a brilliant group of men who have made my life perfect, actually, over the last 25 years since I retired at the age of 65. Now I hope I go along a long time more, enjoying the company of all these men here, singing the songs that you can now hear.
I hope you do as well. No one here will mind me saying that the average age of the member is about mid-70s. You're nearly 99. Is singing the answer to a ripe old age?
Yes, I started singing in my 20s, but I came up here when I was 80, and I've been in this choir now for 18 years. 18 glorious years, and it's not, you know, and the friendship of all the members, and the music you learn, and it's kept me young and kept me happy.
I'm very glad to hear it, Steve. Briefly, you're a newbie to this. What got you in?
Well, it's about 10 years. About 10 years ago, I was in Cullercoats Crescent Club when a gang of what I thought were all men at the time, and they were full of life, full of energy, smiling, bouncing, and I asked one of them, can I have what you've got? And they said, join the choir. And I said, well, I can't sing, and I can't read music. And they said, there's no requirement for that. Just come along, and you get teacher tracks, you get help by the musical director. So the important thing is that anyone's out there that wants to join, you don't have to sing and you don't have to read music.
That is good news. I'm going to send you back down there to join your colleagues. Jerry, very briefly, 75 years. It's quite a milestone. Some good celebrations this year. If you could get down there as well, I'll let the guys sing out for me, okay?
Okay, thank you very much.
They're going to play out an anthem. We should be singing Happy Birthday, really, but they're going to play us out on one of their favourite anthems. Here we are.
That's wonderful.
The love and the joy that it's bringing to that choir, that is something really special. Happy birthday.
The Backworth Male Voice Choir. What a club to be members of.
Could listen to that all night.
We really could.
Here's the weather.
Exclusive club today. People have seen killer whales off the coast.
Oh,
it's happened
what?
again.
Really?
I know. Take a look at this here. This was this morning. It was filmed by lovely Josh there. Josh and Glenn Allison were out on their boat this morning. Killer whales were jumping. This was just off Beadnell.
Very far out? Or?
A few miles. Don't worry, if you are swimming, they're not going to come to you. But we're keeping an eye. We'll let you know if they are spotted again.
Wow.
Here's your forecast.
Midday Mayan temples, followed by sunny afternoons on the sand. 2 week sponsors ITV Tyne's weather.
The narrow band of sometimes blustery rain has been clearing its way out towards the North Sea, and behind that things started to clear up actually overnight. We do have clearer skies for a time, although the showers will start to pep up into the early hours. Again, some of those on the sharp side. It's windy at times, so they do move through quickly, and actually into tomorrow, looking mostly dry, bright and breezy. At the moment, we do still have that slice of mild air, but the rain that's moved across us is pushing that out of the way. Having said that, overnight with the winds, the blustery conditions, temperatures do hold up. Into Friday, a more unsettled end to the week. There's another area of low pressure moving through. So again, we're looking at some strong winds at times, some bands of rain pushing in from the west. But there are signs into the weekend. It's high pressure, calmer conditions that will develop. For now, there's the rain disappearing. Behind that, we get the clearer skies for a time. As we pass around 2-3 o'clock in the morning, we see that narrow band of rain moving its way in from the west. Once again, it's falling mainly as showers. It's hit and miss. It's blustery. Temperatures hold up at around 8 or 9 degrees. So it's not a chilly start into Thursday morning, but if you're up first thing, there's quite a bit of cloud and a fair few showers. But you can see by around 7-8 o'clock, those have tended to disappear. You'll see a few very isolated showers bubbling up, but generally it's going to stay dry. Clouds coming and going, but it's breezy, tearing holes in that cloud, allowing some sunny spells through. Highs around 14 or 15 degrees, so still placing it on the milder side for the time of year. Thursday and into Friday, there's the next area of low pressure having the impact. Spells of rain through the day. They do clear through quite quickly, and it's from the south we're starting to see the calmer high pressure developing. So through the next 2 days, up and down, unsettled into Friday, settled with brighter breaks through the weekend.
2 week sponsors ITV Tyne's weather.
Thank you, Ross. In just a moment, the national and the international news.
I'll be here with the update for you at 10 to 11. Have a good evening. We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching.
Bye-bye.